So I've made a ton of videos over the last few weeks about the Las Vegas Raiders, talking about the Pete Carroll hire, the Chip Kelly hire, the Geno Smith trade, really everything. But I've only covered the main headlines, so today I want to talk about and break down some of the more smaller and underrated moves the Raiders have already made, because even though the top guys are the fun ones to talk about and they're the ones getting the attention, really it is the cheap moves and under the radar signings that make all the gears turn and make everything work for a football team. The Raiders added guys like Elandon Roberts, Raheem Mostert, Ian Thomas. There is a lot to talk about. But first, before I begin, we all know how frustrating it can be as an NFL fan to watch your team get screwed over by a bad call. In the playoffs, there were some outrageous calls, but Penalty Verdict is creating the ultimate penalty voting experience where you can vote on penalty calls in real time on both NFL and college football games. You can engage with a community of football fans who desire fair play and accountability. You can unlock the next dimension of sports by engaging with real-time polling of referees, players, and teams. You will have the ability to view data-driven insights to have informed decisions about the games, and Penalty Verdict is in the development phase and would love to hear feedback from you, so you get a say in what features you want to see in the app for next football season. So please go give it a try. My link is at the top of the description, and also I will pin it in the comments as well. Alright, so the first player the Raiders added that I want to talk about a little bit is Ian Thomas, a tight end. He's 28 years old. He signed a short-term deal that's likely around 1 year. It's probably going to be about $1 to $2 million, and after 7 seasons with the Carolina Panthers and being drafted in the 4th round, 101st overall, he put up 8 receptions with 67 yards on 12 targets in 15 games in 2024, and for his career, he has 119 receptions for 1,122 yards with 4 touchdowns in 94 games. 38 of those were starts. He has a 65% catch rate, and then in terms of blocking, he played 35% of offensive snaps in 2024, often in line with a 62.3 PFF run blocking grade. So Thomas definitely isn't a game changer, but he could be a steady roster presence. Here's what the verdict is in terms of his tendencies and skill set. He's a reliable target. He kind of can be like a little bit of a safety valve for Geno Smith whenever he is on the field. He can support run heavy sets. He's not elite at it, but he's decent. And then he definitely is a fit for play action. He can sell blocks before leaking out to add some deception to the offense. And then in terms of his physical traits, he has a big frame, he's 260 pounds, 6'4", but he does have a limited after the catch ability with only 4.2 yards per catch. But again, I do see this as a fit because he's going to be playing behind Brock Bowers. He's not going to see a lot of action. He is just a guy that brings some stability and could enable Bowers to flex outside while he handles the inline duties. Also, again, super cheap, low risk. I don't think this was a bad signing at all because even if it doesn't work, guess what? It doesn't matter. He can just get cut or sent down to the practice squad. No big deal. The next guy I want to talk about is Leki Fatu, a defensive tackle. He's 26 years old. He also signed on a short-term deal for like no money, and after 5 seasons, being a 2020 4th round pick, 114th overall by Arizona, he played 4 seasons with the Cardinals and then 1 in 2024 with the Jets. In 2024, he had 3 tackles, 1 solo, 2 assisted in just 2 games, and then throughout his career, he's had 67 tackles, 32 of them were solo, and then he also has assisted on 35. He's had 3.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 2 passes defensed in 58 games. He also has 8 TFLs and 8 QB hits, and then in terms of his frame, he's 6'5", 335 pounds, and when he's on, he can be a run-stuffing machine. But he is a situational player that peaked in 2023 with 28 tackles and 2.5 sacks. In terms of his tendencies and the skill set that he will be bringing to Vegas, he has a true zero technique. He's a 2-gapper for goal line and short yardage situations. He had a 67.8 PFF run defense grade in 2024. He does have a relentless motor. The way he pursues QBs is rare for somebody his size, but then he is limited as a pass rusher. He only had 3.5 sacks in 58 games, as I mentioned. That's very minimal impact, but he is versatile. He's best at the zero, but can shift around. He will be joining Christian Wilkins, who had 10 sacks last year, and Adam Butler, and a few other guys too. So he definitely bolsters a D-line a little bit that was 8th in sacks and 13th versus the run in 2024. He'll be best at the goal line and then early down and long. So overall, I would grade this move a C+. Definitely was a lot of value, and again, it's low risk, barely any money, and it could offset losing Christian Ellis to the Patriots. Alright, now to get to the exciting one, the Raiders brought in Raheem Mostert, and man, this could be a big pickup for for sure. He is 32 years old and he signed a 1-year deal for pretty cheap. He has played 8 seasons, mostly with Miami from 2022 to 2024, and he was undrafted from Purdue in 2015. And the one thing immediately off the bat that I could say that he brings to this team, even with his old age, is speed. In 2024, he had 97 carries for 398 yards, only 4.1 yards a carry, not the best, but he did have 3 touchdowns and 4 receptions for 121 yards in 14 games with 5 starts. Throughout Mostert's career, he has had around 610 carries for 3,513 yards, averaging 5.8 yards per carry, which is beyond solid. Obviously, those numbers are going down because he's getting older. And then in terms of receiving, he has had 88 receptions for 811 yards with 6 touchdowns in 105 games. 30 of those were starts. He definitely also peaked in 2023, where he had over 1,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. That was his all-pro type of season. And in terms of his tendencies and the skill set that he will bring to Vegas, he still does have explosive speed. He had 9 10+ yard runs in 2024, and he's very physical on the edge. He can stiff arm DBs, and he hits gaps hard for being 5'10" and just over 200 pounds. And now, since he has experience under his belt, he does bring a veteran presence to the team, and he can mentor the rookies, and he definitely will bring a ton of grit to training camp. But one knock on him is that he has a lot of injury risk being 32 years old and being a running back, and he missed 3 games in 2024 due to some knee and ankle problems. I really do hope that the Raiders can draft Ashton Jeanty, because that would be perfect if Jeanty is at the 1 and then Mostert is behind him and can be that mentor and play that role, because I think Jeanty has the highest ceiling out of anyone that has come through the draft over the last 10 years. I truly do. I mean, just go watch the film. He is that special. Not to talk about Elandon Roberts, who was a big value pickup. He's a 30-year-old linebacker. He signed a 1-year, $3 million deal from Pittsburgh. He was a 2016 6th-round pick at 214th overall from Southeastern Louisiana. In 2024, he had 68 tackles, 42 of those were solo, 26 were assisted. He had 2 sacks, 5 TFLs, 1 fumble recovery, all in 17 games. 8 of those were starts. And throughout his career, he has had 603 tackles, 369 solo, 234 assisted, 15.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. Last year, according to PFF, he was the 22nd overall linebacker with a 75.6 grade. He was 5th in run defense at 87.3. That is the big stat that stands out. And he's 6'1" and 240 pounds. Definitely is a bruiser. Again, value, value, value. I can't stress it enough. So yeah, I think the Raiders are headed into the right direction. I still think they have a long way to go. I don't think Geno Smith moves the needle to make this team a playoff team. I think they could make the playoffs. They definitely have the weapons now. But like I said, a long way to go, a lot of developing to do, but I think they got the right guy in place to set the culture in Pete Carroll. And I love the way that Chip Kelly calls offenses. I'm an Ohio State fan, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think the Raiders have the right pieces in place. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know who you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.